Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Peter and welcome back to Gear Best. I'm pretty excited today to bring to you guys a tablet that I'm going to do a review on. It is the VOYO WinPad A1s 10.1 inch tablet. Now the special thing about this tablet is that of course it's going to be running dual OS. That means you're going to get Android 4.4 KitKat and also Windows 8.1. Both of those OS are inside the system. Now I love the 10-inch form factor for tablets because it gives you enough space to work on, and also just displays your media really well. Watching movies, pictures, or browsing the web is going to be much more superior on a 10-inch tablet compared to a 7-inch or an 8-inch tablet. Within this tablet, you're also going to get 2 GB of RAM and 32 gigs of onboard storage. Now these specs are pretty superior to some of the other offerings that we've seen lately. And 2 GB of RAM is great for multitasking and doing some more productivity applications that you're going to be doing on the Windows 8.1 operating system. Now 32 GB of onboard storage of course is ample enough to run both of this OS, but there is an option for you to have external micro SD card here up to 64 GB. So the expandable storage is great, especially when you have a full operating system such as Windows, which allows you to store much more media content on this device. Now before we dig into the software side, let's take a little bit more in-depth look at what we have here on this VOYO. On the back here, you're going to get this hard plastic. It feels really nice. It also does look like aluminum backing or metal backing here, but because of the hard plastic, it's going to be much better at being scratch resistant than a normal metal backing here. On the side here, you're going to get these side buttons for turning the device on and off, volume switchers, and also there's a back button here. When you're using the Windows system, this is a perfect button because of all the onboard display buttons. This physical button here allows you to pretty much go back whenever you want without tapping on the onboard. On the other side here, you see there's 2 ports here. One is of course a micro SD port, and that's just for charging, but also you get this micro HDMI port whenever you want to connect this device to your, let's say, TV or any other displays on your desktop. You're also going to get the headphone jack, and everything is pretty standard. You're going to get the 2 speaker grills here, so you're going to get a nice stereo sound coming out of this device. But you know, other than the camera, that's pretty standard. That's pretty much it for this device. I love how it's quite thin actually at 8.6 millimeters and weighing at just a little bit, tad bit over a pound. So it does feel quite nice. You know, holding it in one hand is not going to be too heavy. And I do like this 10-inch form factor, and just the feel of this device is what I think is quite perfect. But let's take a look at this Android 4.4 KitKat. This is, you know, going to be quite similar to any of you guys who are using a KitKat device. Of course, you're going to get just the fluidity of the KitKat system here. You know, and of course, Android is known to run really efficiently on most devices, and this is not an exception to the rule here because Android is just runs really well here on this device. With a 7500 milliamp battery, you're gonna get about 6 to 7 hours of media playing, such as video games or watching videos. And so that's gonna be pretty important for some of you guys. In addition, you do have a 2 megapixel camera on the front and on the back, and that's going to be good for web conferencing or making any phone calls. But let's go back to the main draw of this device, and that's the dual OS. So we're going to boot into Windows right now and take a look at how Windows feels. So you just hold down the power button on the side, and you get a menu here to boot into Windows, and we're going to let that run, and let's boot up Windows. Now for some of you guys who have not used the Windows system on a tablet, you do want to note that this is a Windows 8.1 operating system and not the Windows RT operating system. So you're going to get the full range of Windows capabilities from this device. You're going to get this, of course, this Metro UI, but of course you're also going to be able to get into the desktop and allow you to run some productivity apps such as File Manager, Microsoft Office, anything that you could run on a desktop computer. You're most likely going to find that available to be run on here as well. Now, of course, don't expect to do too heavy gaming on this device. Even though it does have a Intel HD graphics Generation 7 GPU inside, you're gonna get minimal gaming from that because you don't want to be running too heavy of such as Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed on here. But you will be able to run quite well 2D graphics or any side-scrolling, any adventure games is gonna run quite nice on here. And so you do have some Steam capabilities on here, so please take that into account when you're purchasing this device. Now on that note, I wouldn't want to run a first-person shooter on here anyway, because it is a tablet form factor, and those games are much better suited when you have an external remote control or keyboard and mouse. But this Windows UI feels great. I'm a big fan of the Windows OS. Because of just how everything runs really familiar, because I've been using a PC most of my life, and so you're gonna get that same experience here. Here we go, we're gonna use this back button here to go back whenever you get into a screen that might not have a very visible back button. Because of the physical back button, you're gonna be able to go back right away. We're just gonna take a look at the internals here to show you guys that it is running an Intel chip inside. So we're just gonna go into the PC settings. You're gonna see that it's running a quad-core 1.33 GHz Intel Atom CPU. You're gonna get that 2 GB of RAM as we've said before, and it is running a full Windows 8.1 operating system. And so, that's about it for this device. There's a ton of things to do because you have the dual OS. This is a great tablet when you have, a couple family members who are on this device. Maybe someone likes to run Windows, someone likes to play Android games and Google services. You're gonna have that flexibility here on this device that you're not gonna see much of anywhere else actually. And so I would recommend this for any user who, of course, if you're a Windows guy, this is one of the better PCs out there that I would purchase for myself. But if you are an Android guy as well, do note that there's going to be upcoming functionality to be able to upgrade to the Android Lollipop operating system, and when that comes out, we'll make sure to update you guys on that. But also the Windows 10 operating system is going to come out later on this year. And any device running the Windows 7 or Windows 8 is going to get an automatic free upgrade to the Windows 10 operating system. And so that's huge news for anyone who's running one of these older tablets, because you're going to get that free upgrade whenever that update rolls out later on this year. But of course, GearBest is going to be on top of those news, and we're going to get back to you guys whenever we find out that the new operating system is coming out. And we're going to update all of you and make sure you guys stay up to the latest and greatest on the tech. But that's about it for this review. Be sure to let us know in the comments below if you have any questions and if you want me to dig a little deeper or do some more benchmarks. But this tablet is going to be pretty standard for most of you guys. You come to expect the Windows experience, Android experience, and this is going to be a great platform for you to run both of that on one device. Well, that's it. Let's check back with us next time. Thanks.